What's going on, everyone? I'm Julian, and this is the Inside Scoop podcast. With me today from Champlin Park is the Brent Solomon. Welcome in to the studio.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to get this going.
Yeah, me too. And for the record, you do look good. You look smooth and you look fresh. So I'm excited to get to know you and get to know the Rebels a little bit, for this upcoming season. Even though some of you people who are watching, they might have, they haven't played their first game. The Champlin doesn't play till next Friday. What is that? The 20? Is that the 30th? 30 or 28th, 29th?
29th sounds right.
29th. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so you guys, you get a while of just kind of practice, and you know what? You get to enjoy Thanksgiving, not having to worry about a game. So
yeah,
that's awesome. Well, for starters, tell me a little bit about you and what you enjoy doing besides playing hockey.
Yeah, anything outside of hockey, I'm like hanging out with friends, just making memories with them because knowing like hockey's only forever. So I got to come out with some more memories with those guys. And we just like to hang out, golf, like play poker. We're just doing anything just to be around each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you golf at?
A lot of good courses around us. Usually Edinburgh, Victory Links is close by, but usually Edinburgh is the number one.
Edinburgh. Now, is that because are you like located in Champlin?
Yeah, I'm 5 minutes away from the ice forum. So Edinburgh's in Brooklyn Park, so that is a little farther, but worth the drive.
Well, no, isn't Brooklyn? I mean, Brooklyn Park's just down south 169, right? Like, Isn't Brooklyn Park like low key? It's kind of close to Champlin, parts of it at least.
Yeah, I think it does border each other. So like I think that's why we're combined into Champlin and Brooklyn Park and combined into Champlin Park High School. So kind of nice to get the numbers up.
Now, would that make sense then? Would Park Center, is that Brooklyn Park and then Brooklyn Center? Would that be it then? Because I didn't know Brooklyn Park is.
I never thought about that, but like that kind of sounds right. So then that makes me question like how they split Brooklyn Park up.
Well, Brooklyn Park's a big suburb, I know.
Yeah.
And so maybe, I don't know, north and south or something. I don't know. Well, that's cool. Yeah, Brooklyn Park's an okay, little suburb. I'm up in Albertville, originally from St. Paul, and so I'm somewhat in your area. Not really. I've learned that Champlin will sometimes go like over to like Coon Rapids or Anoka, and that's somewhat over there, and that's still pretty far. So super cool. Then you play poker. I'd imagine at least you're not gambling legally. How often do you play poker with your buddies?
It's tough getting everyone around for like the same nights because they have got girlfriends, so they're kind of worried on that. So usually we try and get once a month, but if we can't, we just find any time to hang out, like go grab a bite to eat or anything.
Yeah. I get the whole girlfriend thing. I feel like my buddies would say the same thing about me and my girlfriend. And I'm again originally from St. Paul, so it's a little bit of a far drive to go see all my buddies down there.
Yeah.
So I totally understand that. Well, that's super cool, man. Well, getting into some hockey now. What are you excited about? Upcoming this season. If there's a specific team, a player, or I guess tournament that you're looking forward to for this upcoming year.
Yeah, I've just been waiting for the season to start. Like as soon as we lost last year in the semifinal, it's just kind of had to turn the page on the next season. Say, all right, this is like me and my captain's team. Like we're gonna charge the boats here, and kind of just got us ready. So I've just been waiting for this first game next Friday and playing like the top teams. Like we got Shakopee on the schedule during the holiday tournament. We get Rogers every year, Maple Grove, Centennial twice. Those are the games that you got circled. You want to make your moment in those games and make sure like you bring it so you don't have like an off game and you actually like make your mark on the state. Say, hey, Champlin Park's ready to play here.
Yeah, those are some big games. I just had Mason Jensen on before you, and Rogers, they play Shakopee this weekend, and Shakopee's got a loaded squad. They're gonna be super good this year, so that'll be I think a game that you guys might be underdogs in that one, but if you can pull off an upset, that would be huge. And then teams like Maple Grove and Centennial. I mean, they're good teams out of the conference, and because you're Section 5 AA. So I think those games matter a lot. Especially come section time and determining what seed you guys get. Because I know last year you guys played Totino Grace in the quarterfinals, and you guys won that. Okay, and then did you guys play Maple Grove in the semi? No,
Yep.
Semis, right? Maple Grove.
Maple Grove was the semis. Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you remember the score of that? I don't remember.
6-1.
6-1. Okay, damn. Did you get the
Yeah.
one goal?
I did. Yeah.
You
It was
did. Okay.
kind of
Okay.
just out front. It hit off me, so I'll take it. Not
You'll
the
take
biggest.
it. Okay, I wasn't sure. Well, I'm hoping that section's a little bit more competitive this year.
Yeah.
Well, that's good stuff, my man. Well, for this senior year of yours, do you have a specific goal for yourself? I know you're committed to Wisconsin. You've kind of done everything you really can. Personally, I would say, I mean, team goal is going to be make the X, make the
Yeah.
state tournament. But what do you have in store for yourself this upcoming year?
Yeah. Obviously, like you said, the team goals come first, and that's making the X. And not even that; it's just winning our conference. I think the
Mhm.
Northwest Suburban is the most difficult to win in the whole state, and doing that and then winning that section is the top two, and then making it to states the top three. So those are the ones that I'm more focused on, and
Yeah.
I just have little goals for myself. Like I want to pass my points scoring from last year, 48. I wanted to get 50 this year.
Mhm.
I obviously want to be in this Mr. Hockey finalist debate at the end of the season, hopefully, and
Yeah.
obviously want to come out and hopefully break that school record, which is obviously going to be tough with the schedule we got and how much I need. So
Yeah.
those are just like the goals that I have set for myself, but more focused on the team goals.
Yeah. School record, is this a goal or a points record?
Points is 126 by Jordan Ron. And then goals, I believe, is 75 by Derek Roberts.
Okay. And which are you looking to break, both, or is there one? I didn't know
Both.
about this. Both. Okay. Is that realistic? Because so I know I only got to call one of your games this last year. I want to say though, I think it was that Maple Grove tournament, the Christmas tournament. I think you guys played Rosemount last year, if you recall, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I got to call that game. And see, I'm still kind of fairly new to the Minnesota hockey community. Like I just graduated
Mm-hmm.
college a couple of years ago, and started working for Minnesota Hockey TV last year. So I'm still kind of learning. But where was I going with this? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Okay, we're just gonna move forward with that. But points records. So I mean, like I think it's gonna be difficult because
Mm-hmm.
like as an outsider, because you played on such a great line with Brnovic and Amberwald, and those guys are gone now. I mean, like how far away from you are you like from goals and points this year? Because like in terms of production, I mean, it might be difficult. When
Yeah.
you're not playing on the same line as those
Um,
guys. You know what I mean?
yeah. Obviously not playing with Trevor and Will this year, but I like who I got. I got Cole Perkins and Nick Carlson. So I've been
Okay.
working with them all summer and getting our chemistry up. But
Yeah.
I think I'm 38 away from the goals, and
Mm.
then I'm 70 something away from the points. So that's the big one. And
Okay.
the goals, hopefully I get that because I think I had 34 last year in 22 games.
Okay.
So I need to have, I think, fixed in 25 at least to break it this year.
Okay. You definitely could do it for sure. And that so it's realistic. Okay, I wasn't sure because I want to keep it a buck with you, but I'm also like, well, like I read up on you a little bit. You're pretty darn good. So I was like, okay, that's super cool. We'll be rooting for you, and hopefully you're able to break those records.
Yeah, thank
Those are
you.
good goals for you. And then for Mr. Hockey, being a preseason watch list guy, I mean, I think it's an honor and a privilege to be on that preseason list. And I think as long as you keep trying and having good mentality, I think you'll definitely finish in the race. We mentioned your name in a previous episode. Me and another one of my colleagues, we did a boys double A kind of season preview.
Mhm.
Your name came up, and the guy I was with, if he's watching this, it's all fun, but he's obsessed with you. I don't mean to be weird. I don't know if that's weird to hear, but he's got a lot of great things to say about you as a player. I know he followed you a lot in the Upper Midwest Elite League that happened just a little bit ago, and that's kind of honestly why I was like, you know what, like let me get this kid on my podcast, like so I think that's all good goals for you.
Yeah.
Now the question is, you're committed to the Badgers, which, see, for some Minnesota fans, they might not like that.
I've
But
gotten that a lot. Yeah, I've got
yeah,
I was skating with our score days last night, and like I'm like a mentor coach for them, so I like
Yeah.
going out there and just helping them out and giving them my couple cents. And first time stepping out there with them, they're like, "Why Wisconsin? Like the Badgers, like they
Yeah.
suck." And
Yeah.
I just got a word on the chin with the Minnesota people, but I mean, I'm not mad at my decision.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
loving it right now.
Yeah. Well, what made you choose Wisconsin like over other programs?
Early on, my parents always like drilled in my skull that academics are number one, and
Yeah.
obviously Madison's up there in the top schools in the
Yeah.
nation. Going on my visit there, just meeting all the coaches and like getting to know them more, just like that family aspect that they have at the Cole Center and at the
Yeah.
school, really, I really loved. And having everything at the Cole Center to my availability is just great. Like I can go shoot pucks whenever I want. I can
Mm.
go upstairs and get some tutor help, and everything's just great. Obviously, it's Big Ten hockey. It's probably the
Yeah.
best conference in the nation, in my opinion. So I
Yeah.
just want to be able to compete, and the amount of guys that they're able to pump into the NHL and pro leagues are just awesome.
Yeah. Well, I know they just picked up John Stout,
Hmm.
who, I mean, an unbelievable defenseman from Minnetonka last year. And oh, there goes my puppy. No. An incredible defenseman. I don't know, because you're going to be playing juniors next year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, maybe you guys will be on the same. I'd imagine. Because you guys, is he a year older than you, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, maybe you guys will be on the same team at least for a year or two. I think, yeah, it's a good commitment. I mean, people are gonna like. I'm not a diehard Gopher fan. Like, I went to St. Thomas, so
Hmm.
like I'm not like super serious into the Gopher sports, but I'm always gonna root for them, especially over the Badgers. But I think that's really funny that you're skating with the Squirts and they're just bringing that up. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Growing up here, it's my parents are both from Milwaukee, the Milwaukee area, so
Oh, okay.
whole family's from over there. So I grew up watching Badgers. Like when I got the call from them and just started talking to them, it was honestly surreal because I grew up watching most of those games. Just Mark Zengerly and those older teams. Just I actually wore 9 because of him, and
Okay.
being able to make a childhood dream of mine to obviously commit and hopefully play for the Badgers soon is just awesome.
Now, I don't know if you're able to talk about this, but I'm curious. Were there other schools involved in your recruitment, besides Wisconsin?
Yeah, there was. I had I'd say about 7 or 8 more offers, but I kind of narrowed it down to a top 3 after a couple months, and it was obviously a hard decision because the other 2 schools obviously treated me great, and I have nothing wrong against them. It was just I had that gut feeling when I stepped on campus in Madison that this is where I want to be.
Yeah, I think it's important if you got a gut feeling, if you just have that sense that this is the right school for you. I think you just got to take it.
Yeah.
And you don't. I mean, there's a transfer portal. So you could always choose to leave, or if you didn't like those other schools, if you would have committed there. But I think ideally, right? You want to stay at the school that you're initially committed to out of high school for
Yeah.
sure. Um, well, that's super cool, man. Well, we touched upon this a little bit, playing in the Upper Midwest Elite League. What was that experience like for you? I know you had, if I'm getting my players right, you had a pretty big moment at the end, right? Scoring the game. Was it the game-winning goal against Shattuck? And
Yeah.
maybe even the game tying too, right?
Yep. I had the tire and then I had the winner in overtime.
So how is that? Because if you're a Minnesota hockey fan, you know about Shattuck St. Mary's, and they've produced. I mean, when I think of Shattuck St. Mary's, I think of Sidney Crosby and then
Mhm.
Zach Parise, who's my all-time favorite NHL player. What is it like to beat a team like that? Where they're going to be, not saying your team isn't going to pump out NHL product, but Shattuck, it's kind of like I don't know what you would compare them to, like compared to other sports, but they're pumping out a lot of professional
Yeah.
talent.
It's just going into the game, you know what you're getting into. These guys know their systems. They know how good they are. You know how the
Mm-hmm.
coaching is, and they threw our team together a week before, and we didn't get to practice. So like it was just like a competition where like, hey, who's going to want it more tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And the team just we performed, and we just all wanted to beat them. And that's my first time beating them, and it was probably the last time I'll get to play them. So
Mm-hmm.
4 years at going at them, and the last one I get it for. Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, you made it count at the last minute. I love it. Yeah, I think that's a surreal moment for you and, those other guys, and especially for you, being a huge part in the win. That's got to feel good. I remember I want to say I saw the highlighted clip from his name is John Connolly, the guy I had in my previous, one of my boys double A season preview, and I
Mhm.
saw his highlight. I think he was calling the game, and it seemed like just an awesome moment. So that's super cool that you got to be a part of that, man.
Yeah, it was
Um,
awesome. I'd like to credit the two line mates I had all year. So Bowden Samper and Lincoln Ayers, thank you.
Now Sam Perry, now is he plays for Hill? I want to say Hill Murray,
Yep.
and then yeah, I was just side note. He's down in Holy Angels. I've called a lot of Holy Angels games last year, and I don't know if I'll be able to get them this year, just due to moving up in Albertville. But that him and that top line of him and Lechner and Cole Cheeseman, they're going to be something else this year.
Yeah, that's a pretty good top line if you ask me.
For sure. Well, so I have kind of a bold question. So, what's your secret? Because if I get my history right with you, you like you kind of had a breakout year last year, and maybe before, you weren't necessarily, on that top tier of high school guys. Like what's your secret from, going from that to, Badger commit, and you're going to be, on the watch list preseason for Mr. Hockey for your senior year?
Yeah, sophomore year, I actually split time playing JV and varsity. So
Yeah.
that obviously took a hit on me, like mentally. That's where like I was like, do I want to continue playing hockey? Like, I
Hmm.
want to play varsity, and being a sophomore, I got other sophomore buddies playing big varsity minutes for the team, and I'm stuck here practicing twice a day, and kind of just became a scratching and clawing. Like I wanted to get better, and that's going into that summer. I was like, if you want to really do this, is where you start to lock in and you get your work done. So
Hmm.
getting the work done in the summer really helped me, and then just seeing it being able to pay off in the season last year and the fall and summer that I've had is just awesome.
Yeah. I feel like your story is like almost like inspirational, to other guys or, other girls, listening, where if you're a freshman or sophomore and you're not on varsity or, like your case, splitting time, between JV and varsity. And then, what, like if you really put the work in and if, it can work out and, you could be successful and, I mean, who knows, maybe, you'll see a future after college, maybe playing in the NHL or playing
Yep.
professionally somewhere else, which I think which is really awesome. Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was like, I don't know if he's going to take that question great, but cause I was like, I'm not trying to call you bad, 2 years ago. Like that wasn't what I was trying to get at, but I was like, and I think too, you have to know, like, you've taken a huge step in your hockey career in such a short period of time. So, well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank
Um,
you.
well, so for your team, Champlin Park, what does a game day look for you guys? Whether you're at home or if you're making a little bit of a road trip.
Yeah. So home games, let's go like a weekday and then a weekend. I'll go
Yeah.
weekday. We're obviously at school, but luckily I get out at 12:05 with a couple of the other guys. So I'll get out. I'll probably come home. I get some food into me, and then
Hmm.
I hit the hay. I take a nap. That's mandatory for me.
Hmm.
And then pack my backpack with extra clothes for after the game and a towel and stuff, some
Hmm.
snacks, and then Jersey Mike's right next to the rink. Got to go to order and
Oh, of
then
course.
get that. And we're getting into the rink about 7 o'clock game. I'll probably get there 4:30 and get the JV guys pumped up, get them going, and then eat my sandwich while I. This is one of those weird superstitions. I watch Austin Matthews highlights while I eat. Like I won't talk to anyone. I have to have my highlights right there in
Okay.
front of me. And
Okay.
that's that's one of the weird ones. So I don't talk to anyone while I eat. So I focus in on my video and watch that, and then I watch a couple of the JV games, and
Yeah.
then obviously take my stick, get ready to go, and go out for warm ups. And then probably a weekend, we usually have a dry land in the morning to just get us out of bed so we're not all groggy coming in. And
Hmm.
same old, same old. I go home, just probably play some video games with the boys and get back into that routine of the nap, Jersey Mike's, Austin Matthews highlights, and then go time.
That's the craziest superstition I've heard of when interviewing players. I love that. That is That's freaking hilarious. Oh my goodness. So you just locked into Austin Matthews before the
Yeah.
game. I love that. Oh, that's super cool. He's a great player. He got brought up in my previous interview with Mason, and yeah, he's a phenomenal player for Toronto. What's the go-to sandwich at Jersey Mike's?
It's a number 8, the Mike's way without the juice.
What's the what? No, what's the number 8? I don't
It'll
know.
be
Like,
ham, turkey, and then provolone cheese, and then bacon. I believe that's what it is.
oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
No juice though. Wow.
Oh, I'm not
Not
a
not
vinaigrette.
even the not even the red wine vinegar.
No, that's it gets too like messy and it's getting my
Yeah.
hands all greasy and
Yeah. No, I get that.
not a fan of that.
I get it. I'm a hot sub guy when it comes to Jersey Mike's. I'm
Hmm.
a big I get see I, this I we talked about food as well with Mason. I don't eat cheese, and so I get a Philly steak sandwich, not a Philly cheesesteak from there. But I
Just
always
no
get
cheese.
like the onions and peppers, and then I have them add jalapeno peppers and banana peppers
Hmm.
for a little bit of spice. But Jersey Mike's, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a little spendy, but
Yeah,
it makes for a good pregame meal, I bet.
yeah, it does.
Well, that's an awesome superstitious. That might have to be the marketing clip for when I upload this. I might have to tell the people right away that I love that. That's awesome. That already answered one of my other questions about your pregame, postgame meal. Um, I want to have a little bit of fun with this. Give me your Minnesota, high school top line of 3 forwards, 2 D and 1 goalie. A disclaimer: you can include yourself. I think we all kind of know, like, you know what, you're going to include your teammates, like you want, to roll with your guys' top
Yeah.
line. But, I think for the content aspect of it, like, if you could pick some other guys around the state, you can include yourself if you want, or if you just want to go completely fresh, this is like a do or die, top line of all current high school players.
All right. Yeah. Obviously, I'd take my Champlin boys with anyone, but
Right.
I'll toss me in there. So I'll play. I could play either right or left. So I'll take the right where I'm more comfortable.
Okay.
I'll take Bowden Samper.
Okay.
Love the dude. He's great chemistry from Elite League.
Mm-hmm.
We need someone on the left. Could probably toss Mason in there. Mason,
Mason
that's
Jensen.
I think we got a good skillful front three right there. And then
Okay.
the back end, Nolan Grady's. I mean, the kid's
Yeah.
a nut. The kid's a nut, but we're gonna have to toss him back there. I think one of the top guys back there.
A nut. What do you
He is just
what do you
he's
mean by that?
awesome, dude.
Is he a character?
He's the biggest character I know. It's
I might have to reach out to the Rogers head coach and have him on the podcast then, because
he's
I would.
it's
Okay,
insane. Yeah.
Nolan Gertie. Okay.
I got Gertz playing the left, so I need a right defenseman. Or I could go left, just have two lefties. I think Nolan has a lot of offense in him. And I know he loves playing offense, he's told me. It's kind of like a lockdown left defense. I could go Finn D. St. Hubert or Nick Coring. Either of those two, I'll take some big weight back there to throw the body and play lockdown.
Coring now, is he at? Is that Eden Prairie or is that Minnetonka?
Yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
he's coming back. I know he's in Muskegon right now, but
Oh, okay.
if he does come back, I'll take him. If not,
Yeah.
I'll have him or Finn any day. But
Mm-hmm.
goaltender, there's a lot of good goalies in the state. You got Gabriel from White Bear. You got Cody from Centennial. Price from Maple Grove. Neeson from St. Thomas.
Oh yeah, all those guys are studs.
I think Cody Neeson from St. Thomas. Just
Yeah.
watching him play Shattuck in that game and shutting him out, that was just a statement win for him, and it was awesome to watch.
Okay, that's a good top line for sure. And for the record, Mason Jensen included you on his his top line as well. So I think you guys are mutual in that. No, we love it. That'd be a good top line. Jeez. And now you gave me a good idea about this Gertie's from Rogers. I might have to get him on now because
He is. It's crazy. It's a lot to explain. That kid's got a lot going on in his life.
he's something else. Well, now are you close with him? This is going on. We're recording. Are you close with him? Like I was gonna say, like because I could reach out to their coach again. I already asked him once for one of their for Mason, but I didn't know if that would be something you'd be comfortable sharing his contact with. Cause I would love to get him on if he's a nut.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm close enough to where I can shoot him a text, say, hey, you want to get on a podcast with this guy, and he's just finished one with me, so I could, and
Okay.
that would be a good podcast with him. He might talk your ear off if I'm being honest. He can talk for a while.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we'll have to talk about it later. We'll have to. Oh, I love it. You're awesome, dude. Okay, college and NHL players. Is there a specific college or NHL player you idolize, or you try to have like a similar playing style to? Maybe Austin Matthews. I'm guessing.
Yeah, like Matthews with his shot. That's where like I'm watching him a lot with his shot. Cole
Mhm.
Caulfield too, obviously another
Oh,
Wisconsin
another
guy.
Badger. Yeah.
Yeah, and then watching a lot of Sam Reinhart recently. Like
He's having a great year.
yeah, his offensive zone, just like his way of being able to find open space and create for not only him but his teammates is just
Yeah.
crazy. And just being able to watch like how he maneuvers around the ice and uses his brain and his ways to use his stick in the offensive zone just to create for himself is just insane. So I want
Mhm.
to try and take as much from those three as I can and implement that in my game.
Yeah. Well, I think for you trying to break the points record, I think it'd be good to watch Reinhardt. He might finish with the most points this year. We'll
Yeah.
see. He's having a great year. Those are some all big names. I mean, yeah, Cole Caulfield, he's great. I know he was a big Badger, especially when I was in. I think I'm 24. He might be my age. I can't remember, but I know he was a big Badger guy
Mhm.
when I was watching some college hockey, and yeah, Austin Matthews going to go down as I think. I'm not going to sit here and say he's the best goal scorer of all time, but I think at the end of his career he'll be up there for sure.
He'll be up there.
Yeah. Okay, well that's super cool. Well, a couple more questions for you. What's your favorite and then your least favorite thing about practice? And you don't want to go too hard on the least favorite because maybe your coach or your buddies will be watching, but I got to know.
Yeah, definitely won't sewer anyone, but favorite just being around the guys, just being
Yeah.
high schoolers and hanging out in our locker room. Like we practiced today at 3:15. Most of us were there at
Hmm.
2:50. Just we hang out in the locker room. We just
Yeah.
have a blast. It's like we
Yeah.
got a ping pong table. We get some tournaments going, and
Oh yeah.
haven't broken that out this year, but we'll probably get into that soon. But
Oh yeah.
just being around the guys and building friendships and making memories is just the
Hmm.
greatest thing that I think high school hockey brings,
Hmm.
other than like the hockey aspect and obviously being able to showcase that, but being able to play with the buddies that you've grown up with and play for your city and the association that came up with you is probably the best thing. So
Yeah.
least favorite, ooh, probably missing the net or not stopping in front of the net. That's
Oh
we got a
yeah.
rule with one of our assistant coaches, Cal Spencer. You get 20 push-ups if you miss the net, just wide, even if you hit the post, and then if you don't stop in front, you also got 20. So that's just
So this is just in practice.
yep, just practice,
Well,
and it's
because
just
in warm ups, like pregame, I mean, I see you guys miss the net all the time. I guess that's how you. I guess you don't want to do the push ups, so you got to hit the net.
yeah, it's
So that's how you
more
get the
more in the
score.
warm-up drills where we're supposed to be
Yeah.
putting them on the goalie's pads and not sniping corners on them.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
that's where you kind of just rip one at like their chest or something, get a puck on them. But a
Yeah. Yeah.
couple of the times you get one off your stick and
Just
10
yeah.
seconds later you're down doing 20 and it's not fun.
Okay. Okay. I thought that was like just even if you're trying to snipe the corner, because I was gonna say like it's pretty obvious. You can't just shoot it in the center of the net every time
Mhm.
because the goalie's gonna stop that 99% of the time. But okay. Okay. So that's just in warm ups, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be a little frustrating. I wouldn't like to do that, but I get the point of it, but well, that's funny. I love it. Final question for you. So this is a little interesting because I don't want to call out your parents if they fall into this category, but we call them the rubes, the hockey moms and dads. The people who just take it a little bit more serious than you do. What are your thoughts on them? Like if there's if you can understand what I mean, like if you can picture
Yep.
like the hockey mom, like what are your thoughts on them?
I got mixed emotions with them. I obviously they can be nutcases at some points, but
Yeah.
obviously them being invested in their kids is
Yeah.
really good for that. Like thinking of hockey dads, I always think of the Mitch Marner's dad clip where he's just banging on the glass, yelling at him. Thankfully, we haven't had any of those, but yeah, it's my parents aren't anything that crazy. They're along with me for this ride, and they've been there since day one, so that's fun. But
Yeah.
most of them I love, like they're invested in their kids, but there's sometimes where they're going over the line, and
Hmm.
you can't really do much. It's them and their kids. It seems like their own world, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious, and not to badger, parents who are invested, in their kids. Like that's not what I mean. I guess I should say for a disclaimer there. Um, but like as a broadcaster, you'll and, you might not notice it because you're on the ice, you're focused on the game, but up in the bleachers, up in the stands, some parents they get a little too into it, and maybe that's just my perspective. And I always love hearing the players' perspective because sometimes parents be yelling or
Mm-hmm.
yelling at maybe not necessarily you, but the coach, or it could be the refs, especially. I'm sure refs are getting badgered, heckled every game,
Yeah.
for missing a call or something like that. And now I asked Mason about this too earlier. Opposing student sections. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I love it. I love the energy. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not as big and loud as football ones, but we all
Oh
hope that
yeah.
they are. So, yeah, I like it. Love it when they get into it, but I haven't been yelled at by anyone. But they
Okay.
obviously made the rule where you can't go hit a celebration into them. So it
Yeah.
kind of ruins the fun where they get to do something to you and you can't do anything back to them. But
Yeah.
we last year we didn't have we had a big one against Tino Grace, and they kind of left after the second period after things got out of hand. So
Oh.
that was probably the biggest one we had. And then Maple Grove had a decent one in the section semis, but none of them are like, they obviously bring the energy for their school, but they're never bashing you or anything. Penalties,
Oh.
you get a penalty, you get a "you can't do that" chant, but
Okay. So
it's
So you've never experienced, opposing student sections, just ripping on. I mean, maybe not you specifically, but just the team in general. Because I feel like I've been to enough sporting events where, like, I've seen some things that opposing student sections have done, and I think it's kind of funny. And to the rule where you can't sell you in front of the opposing student section, see, I think that's ridiculous.
the
Like I would be that guy. I don't know if this is you, but I would be that guy if I scored, and I'm not going to go out my way to go and celebrate in front of them. But if they're on the same side as my net, I mean, I'm going in front of them doing it. Like that's just
yeah.
me. So I think I'm upset that they made that a rule.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but okay, so you've had fairly positive experiences with them. Okay.
Yeah, it's not really the student sections getting into me during the games. It's more the players on the other team saying stuff, but
Oh,
can't really control that. So you just got to focus on your game and block them out. So it
I'm
comes with that.
sure there's been plenty of chirps that you've heard, even though you guys are in high school. I mean, like, do kids swear at each other? Like, is that a thing? Is that common?
That's a big thing right now. Yeah, that's obviously the refs are trying to cut it out, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's a part of the game. Like you hear that NHLers and college guys do it. So
Okay.
hear some of their chirps that they let out. You kind of get some ideas of what to say to other kids.
Yeah.
And you let it fly, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I never really thought about asking you about the players, the opposing team's players. I mean, they're going to be probably trying to get in your head the most. Now, when does chirping start in hockey? I'm just curious. Like, do bantams? Is it in pee-wee squirts? Like when are excuse my language? Like when are kids starting to talk shit?
I mean, I haven't recognized it as much when I was younger. Like obviously, like you're little and like, hey, you smell like a fart. Like that's not. That's just that's just like something that you say to a
Yeah.
kid, and they're like, what? Something like that, and then.
Yeah.
But it kind of picks up like second year peewees and then into bantams. It's where like you're starting to like mature and get bigger and stronger, and then you're just letting them fly. And
Yeah.
you got some kids with deep voices, and then you got squeakers out there that you can hear them from a mile away.
Oh, the squeakers. Oh, that's funny. I love it. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was doing PA at like a youth tournament out in Stillwater this past weekend, and it was like PWB twos, and I mean it was like 5th place, 7th place games, but
Just garbage time.
yeah, it was all the shitters. No offense, sorry if anyone's seeing that. I'm not trying to shit on your team, but like they weren't talking crap to each other, and I was like, Okay. So I'm like, well, when does it? So I guess the thought just kind of popped in my head, like, when does it start? So I'm like, okay, I know it's in high school, so kind of like maybe Pee Wee's a little bit, but Bantams are kind of the times it started than high school for sure.
Yeah, I think Pee Wee's Bantams, it's more like in the big games. Like obviously you said
Yeah.
seventh, like you're not gonna be chirping like, hey, we're playing a seventh place game at 9 in the morning in Moorhead, and like
Yeah.
there's no point. Like, what are we
Yeah.
gonna get mad about? We're fighting for bronze medals here, like that you're
Yeah.
probably gonna throw in the bottom of your bag. But
Yeah.
it's obviously gonna get bigger in like the championships and like the Bantam rivalries, obviously that you build with guys that you've played against for 6 years, and you grow to hate them on the ice, but say you
Mhm.
love them off the ice. That's you got a case with a couple of that, but
Oh yeah.
it's just it gets to a point where like games matter and you like want to win, so that's where your competitive edge
Oh
comes up.
yeah.
Like you're gonna let something go, like you get just
Absolutely.
got something building in you.
Oh yeah. Even like with my best friends, like when we game, I guess, I've got a couple buddies who are super competitive, and you could tell like when we play against. Like I'm not a very competitive guy, so like whenever we play against each other, I don't really like doing it because I know,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be talking shit. They're gonna be, letting things fly. They're gonna get upset about stuff, and I'm like, I just don't like that. But to be an outsider, to see other people do it, I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
So,
it is more with the competitive guys. Like I think I'm one of the most competitive people like on the earth. I'd say like any like in
mm,
school, it's just if we're doing like a stupid bingo game in English class, like I want to win. Like I'm
yeah,
not a loser. Like I'm gonna leave this class as a winner with a bag of fruit snacks. Like it doesn't matter. I'm gonna play like it's Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. It's I hate losing and I just want to win every time. So that's
yeah,
where I kind of get fueled up with the chirping and stuff, but
yeah.
get yelled at mom by mom a lot for a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
stuffs. And
that
she's like, "What are
happens.
you saying to him? I can hear you." And I was like, "It's a part of the game, mom.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna get worse from here."
I think you have a really good mentality, man. I'm all into mindset mentality, and in my opinion, this is kind of harsh, but the truth is, if you want to be the top guy, if you want to win, sometimes you got to have a hard mentality, a hard
Mhm.
head, and think like a winner and be a winner. Um, and I think in your case, it's working out for you just fine. So
Yeah,
um,
thank you.
yeah, so that's all we got time for. Special thanks to you, Brent, and coaches for hooking me up with you, and good luck to you and the Rebels this season.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It was a blast.
Yeah, we had a good time.